All right, I do have a little bit of theme music for this show.
All right, cool.
I'll let that come in. There it goes. See. Okay, that's better. There was a little blip in there. Oh, I did it again. Let's try again.
You gotta record the theme music right now?
Yeah, it has to be live.
You can't put it in post?
It has to be live. And then once the higher part comes in, I bring it down a little bit, and then I can speak the introduction. Hello everyone, this is another episode of iHearIC Radio, where I talk to local artists in the Iowa City arts scene, usually musicians, but sometimes I branch out. But I'm a musician, so I'm more comfortable talking to musicians. I feel a little out of my depth when I talk to any other type of artist, you know? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't really know what I'm talking about ever with anything, but with musicians I can pretend that I know what they're talking about when they say things to me, you know?
Yeah, well, art stuff I never know what to ask.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, we can get into weirder stuff with you because you draw, right?
Yeah, well, I draw, but...
Yeah. Anyway, let's introduce the guest. I have sitting across from me Samuel Locke Ward, who is a prolific artist in Iowa City. Lots and lots of music released in, would you say multiple genres? I think that you branch out pretty well.
Yeah, multiple genres, but, you know, it's all just the sea of its own thing.
The sea of its own thing. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk to you because you just have like a breadth of work, just like tons of stuff out there. And you were kind enough to send me some of your like most recent material. Some of which I think has not been released yet, right?
Yeah, a couple of them. I've got a couple coming out in June or July that are in the pipe.
Yeah.
You know, getting pressed.
Right. And I have digital files they don't need to be pressed. They're just here in my phone. So Sam, something I like to do when I have people here to have these conversations, and you've been at this a long time. And I want to know, like, how did you get into music? Like, when did you start recording stuff?
Well, how I got into music, it's just like I was always hearing music on the radio, and I was around music. You'd go to church and there'd be music.
Yeah.
But that's like such a unique thing because it's like everybody's trying to sing quieter than the next person.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good to know that you were going to church as a kid.
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
That was kind of how I got into music too, is I was playing guitar in a church band when I was a kid.
You played guitar in the church band?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was, well, you know, at the time I was like, you know, I thought God was real. So,
yeah.
So I liked that. And, it was kind of like a regular thing I was doing every week. So it was like a motivation to actually get out and play.
Was it inspiring to play the guitar? Did it make you want to be better at guitar?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah. Cause I was playing in front of people like once or twice a week. And it's like, well, I should probably like get my calluses up, you know?
Right.
Cause I feel like I don't have the motivation to practice unless there's that kind of pressure. Like,
right.
Someone will see me play, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like the one thing I've always learned is the preconceived parameters of what music is supposed to be are really self-imposed.
Oh, yeah.
And so much of it is just learning about what you'd like to do, what you can do, giving yourself permission
definitely.
to play whatever you want and be who you are.
So when you were first, you know, learning about music and these parameters were, you know, being imposed, how did you start to break out of that? Because I feel like that's a really important hurdle to get over.
It is an important hurdle. I got a guitar when I was younger, and I was in like school band. Like I was never very good at any of the things I did.
What did you play in school band?
I played trombone.
Gotcha.
And then eventually bass.
Like upright bass?
No, like electric in the jazz band.
Okay, cool.
And eventually guitar. And I feel like I'm never naturally good at any of the things I try.
Gotcha.
And everything I do,
Yeah.
I have to get there through like hard work and flubbing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, that makes you, I think, probably a more interesting musician. If it's like it doesn't immediately click with you and you actually have to work at it.
Yeah.
You're kind of like finding your way through it.
Yeah, I find the church guitar interesting because like I don't know, like is the motivation to just like be like a really great church guitar player, or did it like just seem like part of?
Yeah, well, I did feel like I was kind of like in a box, you know, because I'm just playing these sort of like contemporary Christian songs.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of ninth chords.
Yeah.
And I did feel the kind of restrictions there where like I really want to get like weird. Even back then I was like I feel like there's more to this.
Yeah.
But I can't really go crazy in this environment, you know?
Yeah. Well, you can play in the sandbox provided,
right,
you know,
right.
And a lot of things you talk about genres and you're like, oh, well, that's an idea that somebody else had. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, I'm giving myself permission to play in that sandbox.
Right. And if basically the sandbox in the church band is like what would please the Lord.
Yeah, what would please the Lord, but also like what you can get away with without drawing too much attention to yourself. Because that was always my thing is like in church music, it was always don't draw attention to yourself. You blend in with everything.
Yeah, you're talking about like the congregation, like
the congregation.
Yeah,
there was just like an old lady who played organ.
Yeah, organ is such a cool instrument, and it's like mostly confined to churches, so it doesn't get to do what it's really good at, which is like horrifying loud screeching.
Yeah, it can do that. It can do walls of sound.
Totally, yeah, because it's literally just huge, you know?
Yeah, well,
it is a wall.
It's each note can be anything you want it to be. A note can be as small as you want or as large as you want, and the notes on an organ can be very large and very sustained, and a lot of them at the same time.
Yeah. It's just physically incredible.
Where like a piano, you know, you're just like dink, and then that's the note.
Right.
You know, and you can play that lots of different ways, but
you are somewhat limited with the piano because you're not the one touching the string, usually.
Right.
Yeah. Should we listen to some of your music and we can kind of like...
If that's how we do it.
Yeah, you know, there's not really a format here, but I kind of try to have a conversation.
Am I supposed to be quiet over it? Or we mute it, or what happens?
We could do live commentary over the track.
Live commentary?
If that wouldn't be too confusing to the listener.
I don't know. It might be upsetting.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of like something you'd like to play first? Or should I just grab something?
What do you have up?
So I have the 4 things that you sent me, and then I have a rando guitar box, and then I have some of your older stuff that I got from the library years ago.
Okay.
Boombox by Bedside, Barely Regal Beagles, and Kills on Guitar.
Here, let's do something off No Chill.
Okay. That's a recent EP that you released.
Yeah.
A lot of short tracks.
Yeah, do like the first song off that.
Okay, this is Bombs Awake.
Yeah,
from
there you
the
go.
No Chill EP, which I actually haven't listened to yet. So let's see how it sounds. And there we go. There's Bombs Awake.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you do all that? Is that all you?
Yeah, I did all that.
Okay. I hear guitars, drums, yelling.
Yeah. I thought that'd be a good one because it's like 5 seconds long.
Yeah, and it's very exciting, like very high energy. That one.
Yeah.
So the No Chill EP, which I think you released in December. What's the concept there?
All right. So every time I do something, I'm always like, I set not a parameter, but I'll have like an idea and then I'll just kind of follow through with it.
Yeah.
And so like I saw that you could get 5-inch records made.
Wow. Okay.
And 5-inch records, if you if you're driving around in a car and you're trying to envision what 5 inches looks like, it's exactly the size of a compact disc.
Okay. So it's a vinyl that's the size of a
it's a
CD.
vinyl record, and the label is the size of a regular label on a 7-inch or a 12-inch, and then the thread
So there's not
around
much
it,
on there.
yeah, it's real tiny. So you can put 90 seconds on each side.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, saw that you could make those, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta make that. That looks fun. I've never done that. So
the total length that you're working with is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Both sides. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna make 5 songs on each side of the 5-inch record.
Sure.
And so I made way more than that. And then whittled it down to the best stuff. And a lot of times you have to choose what fits.
Right. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that you're a very prolific artist. You constantly putting stuff out. I like it's a very admirable work ethic, at least from the outside. It seems like you're constantly preparing and completing projects, which I'm a little jealous of.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes things just kick around in my head and then I just never do it. But
well, I had this epiphany years ago, if you want to talk philosophy.
let's do it. Yeah.
Years ago, I realized I talked to a lot of people who have a lot of ideas and they never finish them.
Yeah.
And the reason they would never finish them is because they would think they weren't good enough and that they could improve them.
Right.
/ fix them.
Yeah.
And so I had this epiphany that all those people who thought they could fix their songs and fix their ideas, and this goes for a lot of things in life, you can't fix an idea. You can only bring it to its logical conclusion.
Right.
You can create a sandbox to play in, to do things, but all you're going to be able to do is just finish it. And so if you have the idea and you have the notion, you should just take it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Yeah. Okay. So just like commit to the idea.
Yeah. And if the idea isn't good, then fuck it and just throw it out.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have an idea and you're like, oh, nah, this is all right, but it could be better. It's like, well, fuck it then. Why are we doing that?
Yeah. So people
just move on.
It seems like maybe people are getting stuck in the conceptual phase.
Yeah. Well, you talk to people and you find yourself doing that.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you go through and you're like, well, I got all these little ideas. Finish them. Finish every single one of them.
Yeah.
Finish them until you don't have anything left. Finish it until you have nothing. And then at that point that you completely clear your mind of all these ideas and you make it so you can't touch those anymore, then you have these new ideas.
Well, yeah. I mean, because through the process of realizing the idea, you're actually learning about how to do it.
Right.
And then, finding more ideas. They spring forth through the action of creation.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's always, you look at the world and there's always things that inspire you, or you see someone else do something and you're like, oh man, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
And so you just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's another hurdle that can be very difficult is the thing that I'm making is not good enough. I can make it better. I can keep making it better. And it's never if you're in the mindset of it's never right. It's
Yeah, but
never
who cares?
perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Who cares? Why does it even need to be better?
Yeah.
That's the thing
Yeah.
I'm always it's
Yeah.
oh, you just, what? Cause you're gonna make a hit single and sell it to Pepsi and make $1 zillion. That's not happening.
Right,
None of these
exactly.
people who fixed an idea in their mind did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just made a thing and that worked out the exact same way that
everybody else's
thing worked out. And you just got to make a thing and it was fun.
Right.
And
yeah. Yeah, if there's something inside you that's like, this has to exist, I have to do this, then that,
or like,
you know.
there's like this preconceived notion that like, oh, if I do this for radio or something, it's like,
radio's not even real anymore.
Get fucked. Like, you're gonna like go to Clear Channel and propose some sort of, I don't know what the fuck they think they're gonna do, but you're not gonna, Clear Channel's not gonna include anyone.
No.
Like, we're all like on the outside of that.
Yeah, I think that kind of industry is kind of over. Like,
and why? Like, all radio listening's on the internet.
Sure.
So why don't they just like return these, fucking radio stations to the people? Why do these fucking corporations have to fucking own all this shit?
Yeah. Do they even make money off that anymore?
Yeah. I'm like, when I'm like, all the TV antennas are digital now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so there's just like all this analog.
There's these frequencies.
We could use. Give it back to the people. Who cares?
Yeah. Hobbyists should be allowed to just.
I know, like, somebody
now.
should be able to sell some advertising, but who cares?
It's what makes the world go round. Yeah. Let me tell you about this idea that I have. It's kind of similar to your No Chill EP. So a compact disc, they can contain up to 80 minutes is the standard.
Yeah. But you're going to have trouble with that.
Oh, why is that?
You're really going to get away with like 72.
Okay.
Because I had a thing and I was like 80. Then my guy who masters my stuff, he's like, you can't like reliably count on 80 minutes.
Okay. So it's a problem with the format. Okay.
But I'm not trying to shit on your
I'm going to do it anyway.
idea. Go ahead.
I'm going to do it anyway. So they can contain up to 80 minutes, up to 99 tracks. In like the, CD standard. So I want to do that. I want to have 99 tracks on a CD, completely fill it up, which means that the tracks would be an average of like, I think it's 42 seconds. So my plan is to do improvised duets with 99 different people.
There you
short
go.
ones, fill the whole CD. I've started like the planning stages of this, haven't recorded anything. But I think that would be cool. It'll take me a while to do because I have to, have 99 different recordings with people,
it'll take you at least 80 minutes to do.
It'll take me at least 80 minutes to complete this project.
You can also put you can put audio on track 0.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And I forget how that works exactly.
All right, so it's like a thing you had to get on boom boxes back in the day.
Right.
I don't know how it works on a computer.
Yeah, same.
But I had a 9 Inch Nail CD that did it.
Yeah.
So you go to track 1 and then you hit
Just
backwards.
Go back. Yeah.
And it pops back to track 0.
Right. Oh, and Englert has this series called Track 0. I wonder if that's why it's called that.
Probably.
I don't know. You got something else we should listen to maybe?
All right, let's go to a different release.
Okay. Go to another one.
There's like 10 more of those short ones. Go to wait, what do we got
here?
Let's go to I've Been Worse. This is the next one that's coming out.
Okay, I've Been Worse, which is not out yet.
Do you want to do like something nice or funny?
I think funny is fine. I like funny.
Funny?
Yeah.
All right, we can do that just for the...
Great. This is Peppermint Place.
So far
was wondering how that was going to end because it was just the chords endlessly.
Yeah.
And just a sudden stop. I like that. I feel like that was funny and nice.
It was nice. I hadn't listened to it in a minute.
Yeah. So what's that song about? I don't pick up lyrics right away usually.
Oh, it's a nice little trip to the candy shop.
Yeah.
That whole record is called I've Been Worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all acoustic. Because I've been trying to get more into leaning less on electronics and feedback.
Sure, yeah.
And so I played all the instruments in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
No amps, no plugging in. And so it's just like tons of overdubs, but it's all guitar.
Yeah.
And all vocal.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's texturally very, very pleasant.
Yeah.
So the whole album is acoustic then.
Mm-hmm.
All of I've Been Worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the title related to that? I've Been Worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I just label them and then move on.
Sure. Yeah. What's
But when I'm working on them, I'm super obsessed with them until they're done.
What does that obsession look like? How does that? Does it just like capture your brain for a period?
What does the obsession look like? Everything's in reaction to everything else on that record. Okay. It has to fill the parameters of what that record needs to be. So I was like, oh, I'm going to make this record in front of a microphone. Yeah. Using just the guitar. And so I did that and I just kept making songs. And, and those ones, I really did Nat's ass 'em. Going over the songs again and again and trying, my idea of fixing something is putting it down and then going over it again and again and again. Yeah. And, just filling each part of it with what it needs in that moment. And maybe taking it chunk by chunk. Sometimes I'll take it chunk by chunk, where it's like, oh, you listen to this little chunk of the song and you're putting little overdubs inside it. Sure, yeah. And so, there's always interesting things happening. Because there's some people who listen, they only listen to the words. And there's some people who listen and they're only going to listen for those, like, melodies that are happening. And there's some people who listen and all they hear is the drums. Yeah, sure. And so I try to have an aspect of all those things. I talk about, oh, well, you got to break your preconceived notion. And I try to do that. And I try to do things different all the time. And every time I, do something new, I challenge myself. Or at least, I challenge myself because I'm not wanting to just write the same thing over. Right. You hear a lot of artists and they'll just write 1 or 3 songs over and over again their entire life. And I'm aware of that. And I'm like, oh, well, if I want to keep making records, which that's really all I want to do. I don't really keep going. I just want to keep making records. If I didn't, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I don't think that you'd have the catalog that you do if that was not, your primary interest. Yeah. So more about this recording process. Are you like, well, actually, let's talk about the writing. How did you that song Peppermint Place, where did that come from?
Well, to speak of songwriting, we'll talk about songwriting. Yeah. And, talk kind of how the sausage gets made. Yeah. That's and it's not I don't know, they were I was watching the Pee Wee Herman documentary last night, which is great. Is it? Yeah. Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's tearjerker and it make you think. But he's talking about how sometimes things come fully formed. Sure. And they just pour out of you. Mm-hmm. That's not exactly how it works with me. Sure. And so I often I'll have an idea for a song but it's impossible for me to sit down pen in hand and write a thing with a guitar in my hand. That just doesn't work. Right. I can't do that. So what I'll do is I'll have an idea for a chord structure and the chords, and I'll do the chord structure and then then start going over it chunk by chunk, writing all the words.
Okay.
And so each area gets its own attention. And I try to like, there's different like types of songwriting, and I used to do a lot of repetitive stuff. And I try to do like, do you like Simon Joyner?
I'm not familiar, honestly.
Simon Joyner is like songwriter from Omaha.
Okay.
I love Simon Joyner.
Yeah, I should check it out.
And his stuff is just like these books of words coming at you.
So it's a lot of lyrics.
Yeah, it's a lot of lyrics. And so I actually got to this point where I was like, oh, well, I'm going to write a lot of lyrics. And it's impossible for me to memorize those, you know, within the parameter that you're supposed to perform live.
Sure, yeah.
I can't like, if you told me to recite those lyrics, there's like, you know, or we die, we're fucking toast. The
song we just listened to, Peppermint Place, it was a lot of kind of like rapid fire.
And so, you just write it chunk by chunk and work your way through it. And then I put it inside my songbook. And then when I perform live, I have it all in front of me.
Okay. So are you thinking, you said chord structure, so you're thinking about like the form of the song before you start putting words into it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Because I can't, well, sometimes, you know, I'll just start with words. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of different ways to start stuff. Yeah. But like that one, 110%, I started with chords.
Okay, cool.
And then, you know.
And when you're coming up with these chords, did you already have the theme of like the candy shop in mind?
No.
Okay, so that came after.
Yeah.
The whole idea for the, like what the song's about was post chords. Okay.
Yeah. And I know that's probably not the most romantic way to phrase it,
oh,
but it's the most earnest way because that's how I did it.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's good to know like how people do this stuff because nobody's really doing it the same way. It's all just, I don't know, stuff coming out of our brains.
Yeah.
And is that kind of generally how you worked for this album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that one. We should play something off Rando Guitar Box.
Yeah. I was just listening to that last night.
That one's more interesting as far as like how I put that together.
Yeah, and this is like that I saw you play a set at Close House a few months back. And this was related to this album, right? The process.
Kinda, yeah.
I really liked Try Cannibalism.
Yeah, play that one.
I listened to that last night and I really liked it.
Rando Guitar 38.
Try cannibalism, try something new, put some adventure into your life, put some quality into your diet, come face to face with exquisite taste. Try cannibalism, get yourself closer to God, get yourself right with nutrition, get yourself some goddamn protein. Eat meat, eat the very best meat, eat man meat, eat flesh, barbecue, fricassee, raw meat tastes fine by me. Eat the rich. The great equalizer of wealth is a rich man distributed amongst the stomachs of the poor, but you won't be poor when you have a belly full of the rich man. Try cannibalism, try your very best. Try as you might, you won't find nothing quite as nice as the taste of human flesh sliding across your tongue. Try cannibalism, we're all just trying to survive. Staying hip, staying alive, life feeds on life, simple facts staring you in the eye. Eat a sitting senator, eat your senator, they're here to serve you, they're getting fat on your dime. A lifelong politician doesn't stay there through honest means. It would be a kindness to give them an actual purpose, a reason to exist, and a chance to finally serve, a chance to be served. Try cannibalism, send your dinner to the light. Let them reach eternity as a good and wholesome part of your balanced diet. Try cannibalism, turn your neighbors into food. Turn it up one notch or two. Reconnect to the earth and its chain of food. Eat a priest, eat a scholar, eat a winner, eat a baller. Eat good, live good, send their meat coursing through your guts. Get out of your processed, preservative-filled rut. Live your life to the fullest. Grab that ring, do your thing, chef, live deliciously. Try cannibalism, baby. Make your hunger for good. Eat the way you should. Be the hit at the local picnic. Bring your neighbors your favorite dish. Hold it up, give them a smile, and say, try cannibalism.
I love that song. Especially the part about eating senators. Very good.
Yeah, so that record, Rando Guitar Box, this one is very much like, you know, I had the ideation to go through and make this record where I would tune the guitar randomly.
Yeah.
So I'd go through each tuning peg and turn it sometimes, and I wouldn't let myself listen to it while I was tuning it. And I'd do that randomly. And then after you tuned your guitar randomly, then you had to go through and either improv a song or make up a song, taking just like coming up with whatever sounded good in that tuning. And so I'd go through and do that. And then after you do make up a song, and there's no vocals when you do it. This was the game. No vocals. You go through, make up a song in random tuning. Randomly tune the guitar again. Then you do your leads. And then you randomly tune it again, and you do your other leads. So they get popped in stereo.
Nice.
And then you go through it chunk by chunk and make up your vocals.
Okay, so this is, again, all the instrumentation is done first.
Yeah, and like, because you want, in my opinion of making music, you try to look at everything from a different perspective if you're overdubbing. Actually, this gets into like a whole other thing of philosophy.
Yeah. Because
for a long time, I always tried to make everybody do exactly what I wanted, and I was a hard ass about it. And I had
talking like bandmates.
Yeah, bandmates, and I'd have like these big ideas.
Yeah.
Of like how everything should go.
Yeah.
And I did that for a long time, and then it hit me that was complete bullshit, and that was absolutely the worst way to do things.
Sure. The composer tyrant.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, I did that for a long time, and I regret it, because the thing you're going to get playing with other people is their perspective.
Right.
And the thing that they will have that you will never have is their brain.
Right.
And how they look at the world. And so when you're going through, you know, overdubbing on a song, you want to try to detach from your previous idea and come at it from a different angle. So it's not just like, you know, 10 guitars doing the same riff.
Right.
Although there's plenty of bands that do that.
Right. So that's the random tuning is sort of, you know, pushing you
random
into
tuning
new
was
areas.
to get away from book learning.
Yeah.
And to get away from previous habits. You're talking about like, you know, surprising yourself and the listener.
Right.
And making something that's interesting to listen to. Breaking out of like good habits just as much as bad habits.
Right. You just want to be different. Something new.
Yeah.
Something you're not going to come up with just following the same procedures you've always been following. Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to make 60 of these.
Yeah. It's a 2 CD set that you gave me a few months ago.
Yeah. And you're supposed to play it on random.
Right. I was listening in order, but
that's fine.
I have these.
It plays that way too.
When I listen to albums, I have this sort of like this compulsion, like I have to hear it, you know, beginning to end, the way it was, you know, released.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, once I've spent more time with it, I'll try the random method.
Some people say that, like, I saw a debate online. They're like, oh, does it matter, like, playlists on your album? And I was like, are you fucking serious? Of course it fucking matters.
Yeah,
and then it like, as this mind experiment, I tried to, I was like, cause have you ever thought about like the White Album? Are you a Beatles?
I mean, not a super Beatles head, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so like
Everyone knows them. Right?
try to take the White Album.
Yeah.
The two fun experiments to do with the White Album is one, try to take the White Album and turn it into like one album, a single LP.
Yeah.
If you can turn that into like 34 minutes,
Yeah.
like, and it's like painful. Like you're like, oh, some shit has to hit the floor.
Yeah.
The other one I was thinking about when I was seeing people like, oh, the playlist doesn't matter. I was like, oh man, can I take the White Album and turn that into a shit playlist?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, what do you open with? It's like, oh yeah, Revolution number 9.
Well, sure. Yeah. It's
just
not the same at all.
Just
Yeah.
fucking open with that fucker.
Yeah. That's such we may have seen the same post actually. It's, I mean, I guess not all music has to be album oriented or whatever, but
Well, I've seen it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like people, it's an old debate.
yeah. KRUI just released this like compilation of a bunch of local artists, and I was wondering like what they were going to do in terms of order. It's just alphabetical by artist name.
There you go.
I haven't listened to it all the way through to see how that turns out, but yeah, it ended up I like right in the middle. I'm track 15 of 30, so that's
Yeah,
kind of
there
a
you
nice spot to end up in alphabetically. But yeah, back to your random guitar tuning. Like I really like. So you're breaking out of your old habits. You're also just breaking out of like the normal tuning system entirely. Like it's no longer like 12 tone equal temperament. It's not like major minor anymore. It's not the same notes that even appear on other records.
It is, and it isn't.
Yeah.
It's also like what I whenever you do like a project like that, you're like, oh, what did I learn?
Yeah.
And what did I learn was, oh, it was fun to do. Yeah. And also, everything was just the same. It was like,
So even with these randomized tunings, you're still doing kind of the same.
you're still,
process.
if you put your hand on the left side of the neck, you're going to play low. And if you put your hand on the right side of the
Yeah.
neck, you're going to play high.
Yeah, you didn't break physical reality by doing this.
Yeah, it's still like you're still doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
You're still using your hands and your voice.
Yeah. I do really love though the sound of like a like really detuned guitar string just like flapping around.
Oh yeah.
It's such a cool sound.
Well, like a guitar is like a drum.
Yeah. It's even more percussive when you
Yeah, an acoustic. That's why I only play acoustic. And I used to play a lot of electric, and I try not to anymore because the acoustic guitar is just like a tambourine. It's like percussive, and when I'm playing by myself, I don't know, it's a good sound.
Yeah. It's a little what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little more like I guess real. Like it's like electric guitar is awesome, of course, but you're running it through a big speaker, and it's like the physical object isn't actually doing all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like on a lot of these records I did with the acoustic guitar, I tried to use no effects at all and no amp and just only do things I can do with my mind and my fingers.
Sure. In a physical space.
Yeah. So if it's an idea, if I can't execute it, I don't do it.
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, I came up with this weird sound with my pedal. I don't let myself do that at all.
Yeah. I saw you play a set. I mentioned this a few minutes ago. Outside at Close House a few months back, and you were doing the random tunings thing, and you had a series of like poems you had written earlier that day, right? And so your set was just like you randomly turn the knobs on the guitar, and then you play something, and then you read the poem.
Yeah.
And I love the immediacy of that. Like these tunes exist in like a span of a couple of hours, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd done before, or was that like your first time doing that?
That was the first time I'd done it, and then I did it I played a show at Gabe's the other week with a full band, and between every song, I did one of those.
Yeah, nice.
And wrote like a new batch of poems, single-use poems.
Yeah, right. Single-use poems. I like that.
Single-use songs.
Yeah. Do you want to, maybe we could play something from one of your collaborative things?
Yeah. You got the Jad Fair record on there?
I do. Sorry, my phone locked itself here. And every time I close that... Okay. The Jad Fair, which is Pure Candy.
Yeah.
Which is a recent one.
You just play the first song on that.
Sure. This Love of Ours, Jad Fair, and Sam Locke Ward. Ooh, that delay is nice at the end. That was This Love of Ours from the album Pure Candy by Jad Fair and Samuel Locke Ward. How did you get acquainted with Jad Fair?
We met a long time ago when I played at a show with him in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Nice.
And we just met, we played a show and talked to, as much as you talk to anyone at a show.
Yeah. 30 seconds.
Yeah. And during the pandemic, I asked him if he wanted to start a band.
Yeah.
A pen pal band, which is a thing I like to do.
Yeah, you kind of do that with Mike Watt, right?
Yeah. I do that with a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And so the pen pal band with Jad, I would send him instrumentals.
Yeah.
And then he'd do vocals. And then I do vocals in response to his vocals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it ends up sounding more put together than it is. But Jad, actually, his style of writing is wild.
Yeah.
Because he has these notebooks all right, so just imagine in your mind's eye a spiral notebook. Mm-hmm. And on the left side, it's completely blank. And then on the right side, he is just filled with rhyming words.
Okay.
And so, just multiple notebooks of rhyming words.
So just single words.
Single words, all in a straight line down the right side of the paper. Notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of these.
Yeah. So the whole page is all words that rhyme with each other in a column like that?
Only on the right side of the paper.
But every word on that page rhymes. Okay.
Yeah. And he would get a few of those notebooks out in front of him. And as he's listening to the music, he is improvising his vocals. with the rhyming word notebooks in front of him so that he can work his way there.
So he comes up with the left side in the moment.
Yeah.
But he knows where he's ending that line. Yeah. Wow. That seems very difficult.
Yeah, he's like the final boss of like, have you ever gotten into like the Half Japanese catalog?
Not a ton. I've listened to a little bit, but
all right.
yeah.
So go back and listen to Half Gentleman, Not Beast by Half Japanese. Their first album. It's a triple LP.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's incredible. It's all improv.
Is that how he's always worked with those rhyming words like that?
I think it was more composed at some point. I couldn't speak to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point he's at now, that's what he's
how
doing.
he did this.
So like, yeah, when I asked him if he wanted to start a band, he was like, I asked him in like, January or it was like early on in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was in the middle of the pandemic. I can't remember. But anyway, I asked him if he would do that. And he said, yeah, I will do that, but you have to wait a few months. I'm recording 100 albums. And his thing was he was just like making 2 improv albums every week.
Wow.
And he ended up making 150 of them.
Over the course of a few months?
Of like the year.
Okay.
Of 2020.
Sure.
And they just put out like Kill Rockstars just put out like a double LP of songs from those.
Yeah. Was he just like releasing them immediately?
Yeah, on Bandcamp.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I admire that. But I don't know. I can't keep up the pace,
Yeah, that's just you just kind of force yourself through it.
Yeah. I do love improvisation, and just if I really sat down and, forced myself, I bet I could do something like that.
Right?
How much do you improvise, like just like total freedom? Like that's how you kind of begin recording instrumentals, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like those jazz songs, it's always like an acoustic guitar first, and then I just start layering things over that, and then delete the acoustic guitar.
Oh, okay. So that's like the track, the whatever.
Sketch.
Yeah, sure. Interesting. So the acoustic guitar it never makes it to the end product on this
Sometimes
album?
it does,
okay.
but more often than not, no.
Yeah, it's just the guide. That's cool. Do you ever like other than the random tuning things? I mean, do you ever perform sets where it's just like no preparation, just total free improv?
I have.
Yeah.
I have for sure. And I've been in improv bands.
Yeah.
I did a tour with Bob Bucko.
Yeah.
A couple years ago where we went out to Shakemore Fest. And it was actually the only time I've ever, so this is funny because it's kind of improv, but it's also the most away from improv you could get.
Okay.
Where we had the same exact set every night and we got super tight with it. And then the idea was that you could get as far away from the structure as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And so it was different every night. But like no 2 shows the same.
Nice.
But the same set every night.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that kind of way of doing things too, where you have a very strict structure.
Yeah.
But then you know it well enough you can just do whatever on top of it at that point.
I don't know if the people listening know Bob Bucko.
Oh yeah.
But he's great.
Yeah, awesome
He's
guy.
just like one of my, like, just for the longest time, I've loved his music for 20 some years.
Yeah.
And, no, it was such a treat to get to play with him on tour. And he was the only person I've ever played with who, like, in the car, he would just sit and think about he'd think about the set and things he was going to try that night.
Interesting.
And the number patterns of the improv that he was going to do. And I didn't understand that part, but it was incredible. It was like, but I never think about it.
Yeah.
Like until I'm right there.
Yeah.
And then I just do whatever I'm going to do.
I'm usually more like that. Just like let it happen in the moment.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too much. If I think about it too much, it's not good, I don't think.
Right.
But the pressure of the moment, I feel like, is what makes usually or sometimes something nice will happen.
Right.
So this Jad Fair thing, was that entirely like remote? You just back and forth work together? That's cool.
Yeah, that's what the pen pal bands are.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a lot like you'd make an album anywhere, because I don't know if listeners know, like, maybe some listeners are musicians themselves and maybe some are just fans of listening to music.
Yeah.
But a lot of the records, maybe most modern records, aren't people just sitting in a room together playing.
That's true.
They're people overdubbing one at a time.
Yeah.
Which I romantically like the idea of doing it in a room live, and I try to have aspects of that in mind.
Logistically difficult to get a lot of people in a room. And the room has to be big enough.
The room has to be big enough. You have to have the tech. It starts to cost money.
Right. Yeah, we recorded this Christine Burke, Lex Lotto thing over the course of the past several years, and learned a lot about how hard it is to get 6 people to play, like, record music together at the same time.
Right.
Some of those 6 people were replaced by other people over time, just because scheduling alone was difficult enough. Could I play another one off of that Jad Fair record?
Yeah, you can.
Do you have a preference?
Let me see.
Now that I know his strategy for the words, I'm going to try to listen to that.
Yeah, do this one.
Damn Straight from Pure Candy.
The wind of change is coming on strong. Love, true love will right our wrong. Holy smoke, holy Pete, holy cow. Love, true love will right our wrong. Right all wrong. That's right. The power of love. The power of your tenderness, power of your kindness, power of who you are. Holy cow, holy Pete, holy Moses. This love is ours, I supposes. That's right, the power of L-O-V-E, power of love. And the wind of change is coming on strong. I can feel it in the air. Love, true love is ours, ours.
That was a great follow-up to the opening track, too. This Love of Ours and Damn Straight. A good pairing there. Yeah, so I hear the strong and what it was wrong, right?
Yeah.
As the kind of the impetus of the lyrics there. Nice. Do you have anything? We're coming up on an hour. What do you have coming up? Like what? I know that you got a couple of these that are coming out. A couple of these albums you gave me are not out yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a show at Trumpet Blossom on Friday. When's this coming out?
I'll probably put this out tomorrow.
Okay, so Friday night, the May 30th, I'm going to play at Trumpet Blossom with Sean Pratt Trio.
Yeah, I saw that.
Megan Seabee plays in that. I love her.
Yeah.
And Penny Peach is playing on that bill, and she's really great.
Yeah.
And then I've got that show with you and Larry Wish coming up, and then that's all my shows I have booked.
Cool. Yeah, that's June something.
June 17th, right?
17th. June 17th. We're playing a show with Larry Wish. Are you familiar with him at all?
I got into him. He's cool.
Yeah, years ago he played a show with a friend of mine up in Minneapolis, and I started listening to him on Bandcamp while I was at work, and I was like, oh yeah, I like the low singing and stuff. A lot of cool stuff there. June 17th. And the other one was this Friday, so I got to make sure the album comes, or the podcast comes out before then. I will try to come out to that. I have to record some stuff prior, but I want to come to that show, so I'll do my best.
Yeah, I don't know how many more Booze shows we'll do. Everyone is a gift.
Yeah. That's a band you've had for a long time, right?
Yeah. And then we quit doing it when Rachel Feldman moved away.
Sure. Yeah. She's back, right?
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah. Cool. So check out Sam this Friday and June 17th. Both shows at Trumpet Blossom. And a couple of albums coming soon. Sorry, I don't have them in front of me anymore. What were they called?
I've Been Worse.
That'll
be out in July. And Songs for Dead Western Stars to Sing EP.
Yes.
That's a 7-inch that'll be out in July.
Awesome. Yeah, we haven't played anything from that one, so maybe that can be our closing track for the episode.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Something from Songs for Dead Western Stars to Sing, which is I love the title. It's very funny.
There you go.
Is this like a country album then?
Kind of.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite off of that?
You either play number 2. That's a good one. Number
2. It's called Kick the Bucket, which is a pretty good, sounds like it'll be good for the end of something.
Yeah, end it.
The podcast is Kicking the Bucket. So this will be out in July, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. If you don't know, check out Sam's Bandcamp. He's got a bunch of stuff up there. SamuelLockeWard.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, and on June 6th, the newest Jad Fair and Me record, Pure Candy, will finally be up on all the digital sites and Bandcamp.
Nice. Yeah, it's only been physical for the past few months, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Kick the Bucket, and that'll do it for us. Thank you for coming over, Sam. It was a nice,
thanks for having me.
Nice chat. Kicking the Bucket now.
2, 3, 4. I didn't kick the bucket, I just tipped it a little bit. And went slipping and sliding in the shit that came from it. You can drop a tear in a sea of regret, and you can tip the bucket just a little bit. My bucket's got some soul in it, just a little taste to get me by. Now it's got booze in it, grease me up when I get dry, a drop of hope when I am short on rope. So tip it up until you choke. I was an asshole till I found Jesus Christ, driven to the flame beyond the great divide. You can stop and cry, or you can let it slide. I am still an asshole, but I found Jesus Christ. My bucket's got some rain in it, something to go splash at the pigs. Now it's got pain in it, something we carry on our way. Fill it to the top, don't say when to stop, or dump it out like so much slop. Didn't kick the bucket, I just tipped it a little bit, and I went slipping and sliding in the shit that came from it. And you can drop a tear in a sea of regret, and you can tip the bucket just a little bit.